should you actually should the other game be like an MMORPG and the other game is like kind of this PvP or like a team game or whatever? Like, does that matter? Because like
Yeah,
I just don't. Will
for
it like
sure.
hard to play like two competitive TCGs, for example?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I am 100% in that boat. Like if I am going to play games, I'll pick two or three, right? To like put my time in. One has to be like let's say a hardcore PvP competitive one. One has to be like an MMO chill social one, and one has to be like trading card game relaxing experience. Yeah, it does have to be like a different genre. I can't play like the same genre of games and be playing it hardcore, right? For example, if I were to play, and this is an example, right? This is an example. If I play like Axie Classic and I play Parallel TCG and I play X another TCG card game, I can't do it. Like I need one game for each genre only. That's the way you can focus my attention on like figuring out the intricacies of that game solely. So yeah, it matters a lot to me. Maybe it's different for other people, but like my brain just doesn't work well if it's like the same genre of game and I'm playing the same genre but different title. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's hard, right? That actually I think is the reason why like you rarely see like if someone's a pro player for like let's say a pro TCG player for like Pokemon, that guy's not really a pro in like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's the same
Yeah.
Right,
genre,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it doesn't work that way, I guess, from like a mental standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a timeshare conversation, right? Like it's difficult, but then also you can have like it just comes down to fun, right? Like where do you like what are you looking for? Is the value you're looking for intrinsic, and does that give you the ability to give it timeshare, or are you looking for that competitive aspect with the same TCG, like being the category but not playing more than one game? That's probably because of like you got to store all this information. Like it can actually be exhausting to keep all that information and retain it. So, you know, it a lot of those things matter, right? But yeah, I think for Web3, a lot of these games is like there's some form of reward for just being there, you know? Like we're in early phases, there's bonuses and benefits for being here early and being part of the communities in these in this instance. And like before games, you know, it didn't really give you that advantage, right? And there wasn't those incentive drivers that we have in Web3. And then of course ownership and things like that just adds to it. So I think there can be a split. Like you could play more than two games, but you'll have like a game that you actually intensely focus on, and there's like goals and accomplishments that you're aiming for. Whereas others, you kind of like casually existing within the ecosystem, just to kind of to be in and around those incentive factors. But the ones where you kind of like weigh your options, right? It's down to each individual. Maybe you go really hard in Axie Origins because you have great assets there, but in Wild Forest I've got no assets. It's just like I'm getting the assets through the game. So I'll play the game day to day. I'll complete the 3 battles and get the battle pass because that's an incentive for me to go and get it. But I'm gonna shift my heavy focus and then funds and things like that towards Axie Origins because it better supports me. And then maybe another one is based strictly upon, you know, fun and intrinsic value. So there's just different things that I think people come to games for, and what's happening on Ronin is there's arguably multiple things that they can gain from a single game experience, but then there's also 4 other games that they could get one of those things from as well. And it's like people are now in the sieving process, the shifting process, where they're determining, okay, this is where, you know, one, I feel the most kind of rewarding aspect in terms of how fun it is and my enjoyment. 2, there's a incentive and there's a benefit to it. And then 3, is there like a return on the funds that I've kind of put in it? Not gonna like to talk about Roy too much, but like I feel like those are the 3 factors that people weigh up. And for the longest time, for like the last 2 months, we've been saying it's really going to get down to, you know, choose your world, choose your IP, choose your
character.
yeah, like, and that's kind of where we're getting right now. Like some people have chosen Aperon, Logic being one of them. You know, like at that time, absolutely was locked the fuck in, bro. Like Aprom was the mainstay every single day, and then like Origins became a casual thing, right? And like some people have stayed heavy in Origins, and other things are casual. Some people have gone all the way in on Classic again now because it's back and we've put focus on the game again. So I think it really is about that now. That it's like people are choosing where their skills and where their holdings as such like benefit them most. So, and then of course CBTs, people are still getting to experience new things. So right now, I don't know, it's a question you could ask Ronin gamers, and I guess I'll ask people that are in the audience and on the stream too, like what is your Ronin game focus? What is your number one? What's your high priority? And for me right now, the high priority is just making sure that my Premier Bounty board is fucking locked in. Like I shift a lot of my focus towards that, and then it's probably TMA. But come
Speaking
Monday,
of
Runeverse.
bounty boards, right? Axie Origins. There's like some shit happening in Axie Origins. I know the roguelike.
Yeah.
That season kind of ended. I know Gade tweeted about like not making it or whatever, but I think he did get an Origin Axie. But yeah, it's the last moments of the off season for Axie Origins, and I'm definitely not as in tune as I once was. Wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, how are you feeling about Origins? How are you feeling about this off season? What runes and charms have you tested from the boxes that we got?
Yeah. You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay.
Because I know you played the bounty board. And
Yeah. Honestly, the bounty board, like, it literally at the moment, bro, it gives me like purpose on a day to day. Like, there's something that I kind of like leveraging in ways being told what to do rather than having to like in Lumaterra it was strictly you look at the market, you figure out where the arbitrary opportunity is, you figure out how you go about doing that, and then you figure out how that turns to profit, right? Or like how the profit factor that you're looking for, fun, cosmetic, or like you return in monetary funds, like you decide, right? I do like that. I do like an element of that. But in Axie right now, it's like an accompaniment. You still have that power because I can choose the composition I play. I can choose the collectible Axies. I metamorph. I can choose all these different things. But I'm being given, these challenges day to day. So it really captures me. I think the bounty board has been one of the best additions to the Axie ecosystem since I've been here, like below Evolution, of course, because that was fucking major, and the dynamic NFTs is always a phenomenal thing, a feat that we've accomplished in this ecosystem. But yeah, this is it just gives me something to aim at on a day to day, and it keeps me excited about the ecosystem of what could I be doing today. Like I get random quests where it's like ascend an Axie or like evolve a beast Axie. And I'm like, I don't actually have one in rotation. So I end up going to the marketplace and like purchasing newer Axies that cosmetically I like. And like people have known me, if you know me for the longest time, like I don't always buy Axies for a competitive reason. Like I believe there becomes a time where there'll be more casual experiences like we saw in Homeland with the Avatar and things like that. So like I'll purchase these Axies that are literally specifically for the Premier Bounty board, evolve them, do whatever it is to it, and it's like adding to my collection. Like this was the one the other day, it was ascend a mech Axie, and I didn't have a mech Axie ready to ascend, so I went on the marketplace and bro, look at this fucking fuzzy geezer, bro. It just made me smile, bro. Like it just made me smile. I'm not saying that these are the reasons I love the Premier Bounty board. There's aspects of it. Was it profitable? No, I spent more than an AXS on this, and it was a master quest, so I got an AXS back. But so I essentially lost AXS, but I accomplished the quest, and then I added to my inventory, and those things are really cool. But in terms of the game itself, it makes me play. In the off season, normally there'll be days where I just completely don't even sign in to play. So it definitely keeps me playing. And then when I start playing, Origins especially has this ability to just get me into a loop, right? Like where I'm playing games now, so I'm like, oh, I won the last two. My comp could do